good evening, good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. You know who I am by now. It's the DOUG here for his NFL Week 11 picks. That is right, we're getting closer and closer to playoffs when injuries mean you're SOL'd, or if you're not hurt, you got a chance to survive. Week 10, I went 9-4-1. For the season, I'm 88-57-1. And before I can even get to this week's picks, we gotta talk about this past week. Oh dear God in heaven. First, we had not one, not two, not three, but 4 QBs go down this past week. So let's talk about that before we get to the game that I think pissed off America. Big Ben got hurt last night. We don't know this is his shoulder. We don't know how bad it is yet because it hasn't been announced. So here's my thing. If Big Ben is hurt and is going to miss a few games, that could hurt Pittsburgh's chances of going to the Super Bowl. It really could. Now, if he can come back, at least if they can get to the playoffs without him and he can come back, then they got a shot. But if he misses, if he's done for the year, I think Pittsburgh's chances of a playoff or Super Bowl run go up in smoke just because of the fact of when he got took out, the Steelers, they barely beat the Chiefs last night. That's a little worrying to me if I'm a Steelers fan right now, because you got to depend now. You're probably going to have to depend on the backup this week against Baltimore, and we'll get to that later. But if that's the case, I don't know. I really don't. Next, Chicago Bears. Cutler got hurt on Sunday against Houston, and he lost by Chicago. Now Cutler is feeling better. Now the Bears did sign McCown, so he's probably going to be a backup QB, and he might even get playing time this week if Cutler is not ready to go, which who knows, he could or could not. It all depends on the situation. Well, Bears likely to resign Josh McCown. My mistake. He could. Who knows if they do? It might be a sign that said Cutler will probably not be playing this week. Because some people saying that we signed him, some people said he's already been signed. Who knows? I expect out of the 4 people who got hurt, I think Cutler probably has the best shot of playing this week, though. So Bears fans, don't lose your cool yet. Next, San Francisco. Boy, we're going to be talking about these two. Alex Smith got hurt this past Sunday. Concussions. Smith threw a TD that would blow your ass. Well, hey, that's impressive. I'll give you that. But do I think he's going to be playing this week? They play the Bears defense. You know what? You need. I'm torn here because if you're the Niners, you need Smith in because you need a win. We're going to get to why. But at the same time, you don't want to risk the man's health. So that is their decision. Now, of course, the 4th QB, which probably got the biggest news of being hurt, was Michael Vick of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles once again lose to the Cowboys, so the Eagles have lost again. They are now not in a good position, folks, okay? I know Dallas ain't in a great position either. Dallas is only has 4 wins this year, but we'll get to playoff talks at the end of the video. Dallas is 4-5. Eagles are now 3-6. And they're going to be starting, because Vick is not going to be able to go, from a source anyway, that Eagles most likely to start Foles versus the Redskins. And I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name. Now, of course, Nick for sure. But he did a pretty good job against the Cowboys this past week, so that might be a good thing. This could be what the Eagles need. Give them a shot. You're going against the Redskins defense, which is not that good. It can help you. Alright? And yes, he did lose, but even I was impressed with the kid. He's a guy who I'm starting to think, maybe if the Eagles played him earlier this year, they might, keyword, might have a better record. But that is just me. And if you don't believe me, look at that game again. Go back to watching that game if you can. That game was a tale of 2 quarterbacks. When Vick got hurt, things started to change, and he did pretty good. So the Eagles, eventually O-line didn't do their job, and Dallas's D and special teams woke up. And of course, Tony Romo, which congratulations to Tony Romo, 2nd week in a row, he did not throw a pick or a fumble. Congratulations. Yeah. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the ugly damn room, shall we? The 49ers and Rams could not end the damn game. Overtime draw. Okay, and I'm just going to be honest. This is pretty pathetic now. I'm sorry, it said when the NCAA, who I don't like the BCS, you can ask anybody on that. Excuse me on that. But they get one thing right. There's no freaking ties. They keep playing until there's a winner. If I'm watching Goodell, and I know that they're probably not enjoying this draw hurt them. Because they did so many rule changes, to prevent it, and it's still freaking ended in a draw. So here's my recommendation for next season. You go to the rule books and you fix it to where the game is over when somebody actually wins. There will be no more ties. So we don't have to deal with the playoff scenario bullshit. And I'll explain why when we get to the end of the video. But I think a lot of people are pissed. I'm pissed. I think the refs did a terrible job in that game. They cost the Rams 7 seconds. That game was just a travesty on the eyes. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get to some picks, shall we? Thursday night, we got the Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. Both teams need a win. Both are hanging on to trying to win. Trying to do something. I had Dolphins last week. They got blew out by Tennessee. Bills are not in a bad boat as well, which was sad, because the last two Bills were doing good, to a degree. I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one. I just like the run game better, but this is one of the games to me that was not going to be a fun pick. It's one of those you're either going to be happy with the pick or you're going to be pissed. I would have been pissed with either team. Moving on. Packers versus the Lions. I'm taking Green Bay. Green Bay definitely the better team to me right now. Lions, I think the Madden curse is hitting them, whether they're fans or anybody wants to admit it or not. The Madden curse is real, folks. Wake up. Game 3, Falcons versus Cardinals. Falcons lose. I had a feeling it was going to happen. I told people that game was a trap game. I had Atlanta. I'm taking the Falcons this week. You're playing the Cardinals. Should be a bounce back game for you guys. If you lose to the Cardinals, then it's time to worry. Game 4, Buccaneers versus Panthers. Tampa Bay's playing for a playoff spot. I'll explain later. They're playing a bad Carolina team. Cam Newton's not as good as he was last year. I'm taking the Buccaneers to win this one. Game 5, Cowboys versus the Browns. I'm taking my Cowboys. That's my team. Browns have been a decent, the Browns record may say otherwise. They're 2-7. But they've had some good games where it's been close and games where they got blown out of the freaking water. I don't know which one this one's going to be, though. Game 6, Eagles versus Redskins. Now, if Vic would have been playing, I probably would have picked Washington. However, since I just told you Nick will be playing, I'm taking the Eagles to win this. Yeah, I know a lot of people think I'm losing my mind here, but I think Nick is a way better quarterback after just one game, I know, than Vic has been all year long. And this is going to be a time for Nick. Hey, Nick, this is to you specifically. This is your chance to show the world. This is your chance to be, as Dolph Ziggler would say, the show-off. Take it and run with it, alright? Next, Rams versus Jets. Oh, dear God. You know what? I'm taking the Rams. I believe they should have had that game won against the Niners. Niners were playing like crap. Saturday ended in a draw. The Jets have been playing terrible football all week long. Mark Sanchez has been a joke. At this point, New York, you have nothing left to lose. Play Tebow. But you're probably not. So for that reason alone, Rams should win this. Next, Bengals versus Chiefs. Lock of the week. Bengals. I mean, come on. The Kansas City Chiefs only have one win, okay? One win. That's as bad, okay? And the worst thing is, they're the worst team because Jaguars hold the damn tiebreaker. So Kansas City could be getting the first pick in the draft, okay? Here's how bad they are. Their last win was September 23rd against New Orleans in overtime. Since then, they've lost every game. Cincinnati's a joke this year. Let's just get that right out the gate. And so is Jackson, which I'll get to them in a few minutes. Believe me. Next. Speaking of the Jaguars, another lock of the week. Houston Texans over the Jaguars, okay? It's the same boat for Kansas City. Jaguars only have one win, and that was on September 23rd. over the Colts, and that was a fluke. As far as I'm concerned, a fluke. And now you got to go to Houston. Yeah, Houston's winning this one. Lock. If you're picking Jacksonville, you are on some kind of drugs, man. That's the best way to put it. You pick Jaguars, you're on drugs. Next, Saints versus Raiders. You know what? I'm taking the Saints. You know, putting them back above 500. Raiders, you know, they're not that good this year. All right, Saints win. You know that Saints got one of the worst defenses I've ever seen, but their offense saves them totally. Next, Broncos versus San Diego. You know, originally, and I got to eat crow in this, so I'm going to man up about it. I had San Diego winning the division, but they've been playing like crap. That's why they're 4-5 and Denver's 6-3. I'm taking the Broncos. The way it's looking, Peyton Manning is probably going to be at least comeback player of the year. If it's not him, or it's going to be AP. Next. Next. Patriots versus the Colts. A very interesting game. You know, this one's interesting to me because they both have the same record. So technically, this is not only for a playoff spot to a degree. You know, yes, I know New England's not in the same division, but hear me out. If the Colts somehow overcome Houston, which I don't think is going to happen, but if it does, that doesn't help New England. Now, of course, I think New England wins this one, but it's going to be close. I'm going to say it's going to be close. I don't even want to say it's going to be even a 7-point win. I think it's going to be about a 3. Because I think this game is going to be close than a lot of other people are thinking. I think a lot of people are thinking Patriots will blow them out, or Colts will somehow sneak a win. I think Patriots are going to win just because, hey, Andrew Luck's a rookie, and you're going against Tom Brady. I cannot bet against Tom Brady. Not in this situation, I can't. So, no. Sunday night game, Ravens versus Steelers. You know, I just said Big Ben may not be playing. For that reason alone, I got to take Baltimore on this one. The defense has been playing very well without Ray Lewis. You just saw the Ravens score 55 points on the Raiders. You know, yes, I know it's Oakland, but still, that's impressive. And to me, this game's important as well. If the Ravens win this, you may as well hand the AFC North to Baltimore right now. If Pittsburgh wins, then we got some interesting scenarios going on in our, you know, for playoffs, which would be cool to a degree. And of course, the Monday night game, Bears versus Niners. I'm taking the Bears. Both QBs are up in the air. Niners just had a stupid draw, which was a joke. I'm taking Chicago. You know, no one knows who the quarterback's going to be. So this is a coin flip. It's pretty much which defense are you taking? And I trust the Bears defense right about now because at least they kept them close. Unlike the Niners, whose defense couldn't do anything. You know, from Rams coming back. You know, from Rams leading to a degree as well. Alright, so just as we recap before we get to playoff talk. Dolphins, Packers, Falcons, Bucks, Cowboys, Eagles, Rams, Bengals, Texans, Saints, Broncos, Patriots, Ravens, and Bears, I think, get a W this week. And as far as for playoffs, here's how it goes right now in the American Conference, AFC. Houston has the number 1 seed, followed by Baltimore. New England has the 3rd seed due to a tiebreaker. Denver's got the 4th. Right now, wildcard spots are currently Pittsburgh and Indianapolis, but Colts had the 5th seed due to a tiebreaker. Teams still alive in the playoff hunt. San Diego, Miami, Cincinnati, and Tennessee, but they all need help to get in. As far as for the NFC, Atlanta right now is the number 1 seed, followed by Chicago. San Francisco is at 3rd, yes, I know, because of the damn draw. And the Giants are 4th. As far as for wild card, Green Bay and Seattle control their destiny. Now, teams on the out who can get in but need help. Minnesota, Tampa, New Orleans, Dallas. Detroit and Arizona can also get in, but they would need a lot of help. Rams would need a lot of help, and Philadelphia and Washington, you know, I'm just going to say, I think Carolina's out. They're done. If Washington, between the Eagles and Washington, whichever one gets that 7th loss, I think they're out. Now, to me, here's what I think. I think the first 4 seeds will most likely stay the same in each. I think it's just going to be the wild cards to me, and that should be interesting. So yeah. That damn draw, folks. Unbelievable. So until next time when I see you for week 12, this is the DOUG signing out saying have a good day and See you next week.